Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nikki LaRose. For today's video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did this makeup look using all the makeup that I recently purchased from my MAC haul. So let's get right into it. To start this look, I'm applying a small amount of the MAC Prolonger Concealer in NW25, and I'm patting this onto my eyelids using a damp beauty sponge. This is just going to even out my eyelids, get rid of any discoloration, and also it's going to be our base for the rest of our eyeshadow. Now I'm going to move on with one more concealer. This is more of a heavy duty concealer. This is the MAC Pro Conceal and Correct palette in medium. I mixed a few shades to get the right tone for what I'm trying to accomplish, which is I'm trying to color correct and conceal some old microblading pigmentation that I have left over on the tail of my brow. And then while I'm at it, I'm also using a touch of this to just kind of sharpen my brow and just clean it up a bit. The brush I'm using for that is the Morphe Makeup by RL collection brush. This came in that big set. So now that we have a good base going on for the rest of our eyeshadow to go on top, I'm going to move on to my first eyeshadow. Packing the shade Orb onto my eyelids using a MAC 239 brush. If you're not new to my channel, you'll notice this is not a new brush to me. I use this brush all the time and for so many different purposes. This is an incredible multi-purpose brush, but for this look, I'm just packing that color onto my eyelid and I'm keeping it away from my crease. I want this color to be just directly onto my mobile eyelid and away from the crease. And now moving on to probably my all-time favorite MAC eyeshadow, and that is Soft Brown. Now I switched to a totally classic MAC brush. This is a 224 from MAC. You can't really see it, but if you saw this brush up close, you would see how beat up it is. It's probably the first MAC brush I ever owned. So I've had it for a really, really long time. It's held up shockingly pretty well, but it's, as you could probably see, it's missing quite a few bristles. So I'm applying Soft Brown all across my crease, and this is gonna be my first base color for the rest of my eye makeup to go on top. So applying this in the crease all across and blowing it out towards my temple. What I love the most about this shadow is it's neutral enough that it goes with pretty much any other color you could think of. Now I'm moving on to another shade. This is Cork from MAC, and I'm switching my brush to a MAC 217. Now talk about another classic MAC brush. If you were a makeup lover, a professional makeup artist, you would definitely recognize this brush. This brush was such a must. It still is. I talk about it like it's the past tense, but this brush is still an absolute must. So the look I'm trying to achieve with this eye makeup is more of a soft halo effect, meaning the center of my eyes are going to be nice and light, and I'm going to focus the darker tones, like the darker shadows, in the above tear duct and then the outer portion of my eye, leaving the center nice and bright and giving it a soft halo effect. Switching to another eyeshadow, this is Saddle from MAC. I'm also using that 217, and I'm applying this in the outer portion of my eye. Keeping it nice and tight with my blending. I'm not going all across my crease. I want to keep this pretty precise. Like I said, this is going to be more of a halo eye, so you don't want to blend it all the way across the crease, and instead focusing above the tear duct and on the outer portion of the eye. And you can see I'm being pretty gentle with my buffing. I don't want to go anywhere further than the spot that's in right now. I'm going for a pretty specific look with this eye makeup look. Now time for the fun part. Switching to another MAC brush. This is a pencil brush from MAC. It's a 219. Again, a total classic. And using the shade Embark. Embark is the deepest tone shadow that I did purchase for my MAC haul. Now, here's where slow and steady wins the race. I'm really slowly building up the intensity of this outer portion of my eye and using a small brush so I have more control. And I'm just really working it in that outer portion, creating a more smoked out effect, but again, keeping it pretty tight and precise in that outer corner of my eye. And now doing the same thing, but this time in the above tear duct area of my eye. So that little crease above my eye. And then repeating the same steps on the other eye. Being nice and careful and precise. And again, by using a small pencil brush like this one, it does help so much to keep this where you want it. So again, if you used a bigger brush for this step in particular, you would lose a lot of the control. And we really want to keep this shadow, this darker shadow, in a very specific spot. Now moving on to eyeliner. This eyeliner is so much fun. So I purchased this at the second location that I went to do my MAC haul. And my friend Brittany and I were shopping around and she told me that I had to get this pencil. And I'm so happy that I listened to her because I actually don't feel like I have a brown eyeliner that's quite like this. So I was definitely missing it from my collection, needless to say. And this is the new formula. It's their gel pencil in the shade Nudge Nudge Ink Ink. Now I will say there was a bit of a user error on my end when I was using this pencil. I was not expecting it to dry down as fast as it did, but you'll see in a second. As I apply it on my bottom lash line and then I go to blend it out, it is not blendable at all. Unless you do it right away, this dries down within seconds. So what I'm doing is tightlining my bottom lash line and I'm also taking it on the outer portion of my eye and really coating where my lashes are. Now switching to a BK Beauty brush, this is a small smudger brush. You can see that I'm struggling to blend it just a little bit. I did get some blend going on, but not quite as much as I would hope. So like I said, if you're using this pencil, just keep in mind the dry down time is extremely quick. It dries down within a second or two. Now taking more of that pencil and I'm creating almost like a reverse cat eye. So I'm taking my bottom lash line as a guide and I'm using that and pulling that liner directly out from there. So instead of taking it on the top and then pulling it out to create a cat eye, I'm reversing it and starting on the bottom. Now you're gonna see me layering this liner a lot to get the desired result that I'm looking for. But what I'm doing is just connecting that bottom wing to the top. But I'm not gonna go all the way across. I wanna keep it just on the outer portion of my eye just to create like a really unique cat eye effect. I thought this eyeliner was so pretty in combination with the rest of the eyeshadows that I chose, so I'm really, really happy with this purchase. I feel like MAC has always had such incredible formulas with their eye pencils, so whether it was an eye kohl where you can smudge it out and you can have fun with it, or if it was like their twist up ones that were more long wearing and water resistant, they've always had incredible eyeliner formulas that I still use in my professional makeup kit and on myself to this day. Now I did go back to my Embark eyeshadow and that same pencil brush from MAC, and you can see I'm adding a touch more intensity on the outer corner on the bottom lash line. So this might be one of my favorite parts of the entire tutorial, and I'm taking Soft and Gentle from MAC, which is a face highlighter. It's their mineralized skin finish. I'm using that same 239 brush, and I'm just flipping it to the clean side, and I'm packing on that brush, Soft and Gentle, then spraying it with the MAC Fix Plus Stay Over Setting Spray. What this does is it's going to help intensify the metallic finish of this highlighter. So it really pops and it really shows up as more of a wet shine on my eyes, which I think is so beautiful. And so this is what's really gonna give us that halo effect to our eyes. By adding that shine in the center of the eyes, it's gonna complete that look. Moving on to mascara, I love this formula. I've loved this for years. I remember when MAC launched this mascara. It's in Extreme Dimension. It is a very, very dramatic mascara. And as you can see, the wand is pretty big. So you definitely have to slow it down when you're using this mascara in order to not poke yourself in the eye and not create a mess on your eyelid. But the end result is so worth it. This is such an incredible formula mascara. I've used this for years and I've always loved it. Definitely being a little risky applying this to my bottom lashes because the wand is pretty big. So if you're gonna use this on your bottom lashes, just like I said, slow it down, take your time so you don't mess up. Moving on to foundation, I picked up the MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body Foundation. Now, back in the day, this used to just be called MAC Face and Body. I still can't stop calling it Face and Body. To me, it's always gonna be that name, but they did reformulate this foundation. I'm not noticing a huge difference as far as the formulation goes. It feels exactly like the old one to me, maybe just slightly more glowy. Either way, it's a beautiful formula. So I'm applying C4 all over and I'm using a Morphe M449 brush to just buff that into my skin. What's great about this foundation is just like the old formulation, it is buildable. So meaning you could put one layer on, call it good, or you can build it up to be more of a medium coverage. But one layer as is a very sheer to light coverage. Now moving on to another product that I have been a diehard fan of for the last 10 years, I'd say, and that is the MAC Prep and Prime Highlighter in Bright Forecast. I believe they have only 3 shades in this Prep and Prime product, and they're for multiple purposes. You can either use them as just strictly highlighting or you can use them for color correction. Now, I like to use this for both. Since this has a little bit of a peachy undertone to it, which it might be hard to show on camera, but in person it has a little bit of a peachy tone to it. Since it has that tone, it's ideal for color correcting under the eye. So if you're my skin tone a little bit deeper or a little bit lighter, it's gonna be amazing for color correction and then also for highlighting. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm color correcting with this, I'm brightening my under eye, and I'm also highlighting specific areas like above my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, on my chin, and just around my nostrils for a little bit of a brightening and color correcting effect. Onto my other favorite concealer. This is the MAC Prolonger Concealer in NW25. If you watch my MAC haul video, you know exactly why I love this concealer so much. This is just an incredible formula concealer. You need the tiniest amount of this concealer. It is very, very full coverage. It lasts all day long. It is so incredible under the eyes because this will not crease if you properly apply it and blend it out. I do like to use this also for just spot correcting and concealing any other areas of my skin that I have a little more redness and I want to have a little more coverage. Since that foundation I use is more natural in coverage, this is a great concealer to just get a little more coverage where I need it. And I am patting this under my eye using a Sephora 19 brush. Now here's where I kind of messed up. I forgot to get a setting powder of any kind at MAC while I was at both locations, so I didn't realize that until I was about this point in my makeup application. So I just grabbed a little bit of the Givenchy powder that I usually use. It's linked in many other videos, and I'm just pressing that on under my eyes and just a little bit in my T-zone. Now moving on to one of my favorite glow products. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle. Soft and Gentle was my thing back in the day. I loved this highlighter so much. It's the same highlighter that I use as my eyeshadow in the center of my eyes. So now I'm taking this above the bridge of my nose. On the tip of my nose using my fingertip. And just kind of patting it in. And then bringing it along the top of my cheekbone. It's just a beautiful, beautiful highlighter. It's very sheer, it's a little more natural, but the effect that it gives you is like, it's almost like wet skin. So just blending that on using a Morphe M501 brush. Now for a golden glow, I'm adding with a 1/16 brush the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Global Glow. This is 2 to 3 shades darker than the Soft and Gentle, and it's got more of a golden undertone to it, which I think is so beautiful. And the way I'm using this is in place of a bronzer. So I'm applying it in all the places I would typically apply a bronzer or a contour product. So along the top of my forehead, along the sides of my cheeks, on the sides of my nose. Again, anywhere that I would typically use a bronzer, instead I'm using this. Now moving on to blush. This formula is fantastic. This is the Glow Play blush in Blush Please. Now this was another recommendation from my friend Brittany when we were at the MAC store, or one of the MAC stores. She said that this is an incredible formula. It's a newer formula that I had never tried. So I was super interested in trying it out, and she was raving about this formula, and I could not agree with her more. It's a fantastic blush. It's more like on the creamy side. It actually feels more like a mousse in texture. And I just applied that using a Beauty Bay brush in 103. Switching back over to eye makeup, I'm going back to my Soft and Gentle, and I'm buffing this all along the bottom lash line using my BK Beauty brush in A504 and just blending it all across, giving me more of a soft, smoky effect. As you know, any colors that I apply in my crease, I love to always bring down to my bottom lash line just to bring cohesiveness to my eye makeup looks. So I'm building this up on the bottom. And now dipping into Saddle using the same brush, I'm just layering this on top of Soft Brown. Soft Brown and Saddle on the bottom lash line, stunning. Such a great combination. Now going back to my Soft and Gentle, I'm gonna highlight my Cupid's bow. And now moving on to lip liner. I can't even tell you how many stripped down lip liners I've gone through in my life. This is one of my all-time favorite lip liners. It's a gorgeous neutral earth tone. It goes amazing with nude lipsticks, peachy lipsticks, pink lipsticks, you name it, it's a must. So applying this generously to my top lip, filling in my Cupid's bow like I usually do. And then lining my bottom lip. Time for lipstick. This was another recommendation from my friend Brittany. She wore this in front of me recently when we were working together, and I could not stop staring at it. It's such a beautiful color. This is the MAC lipstick in Thanks It's MAC. Such a genius name, such a beautiful color. This is a luster formula, so it's going to be more on the sheer side. It's a beautiful lipstick for daytime or nighttime if you're wearing it with a smoky eye. To set my makeup, I'm going back to my MAC Fix Plus Stay Over Setting Spray and give myself a generous coat of that. And there you have it, full face using only MAC makeup. So I hope you guys liked this look. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm at Makeup by Nikki LaRose. And I would love to hear from you guys. Where you want me to do a haul next, or what store you want me to go to and do a mini haul or a full haul. Let me know. I'm all ears. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.